And one thing that I saw was a force, which is point number 13. I saw a force of men of God and women of God of power that will demonstrate miracles like you've never seen in your life. Wow. He said these miracles, and notice, notice I'm the one saying it, what I saw. So 5 people will come up and have miracles. Don't worry, I'm just a messenger. I'm not here to compete with nobody. Just imagine the fire and the force. The fire and the force that will begin to take place. The fire, the force that will take place. Are you hearing this? Yes, the fire and the force that will take place. Where you have young women of God, old women of God, young men of God, young boys, young girls, demonstrating the power of God that people will call it fake. There will be no way to describe what happened. It will be all over the place like popcorn. This one has done this, this one in India. There is another young man in India who has done this, there is another. They won't have all these ministries you think they have. They are not here to build empires. They're just doing some things. China itself, you hear news of men and women of God that are performing extraordinary feats. You are hearing this now. He said this. He said, this is an awakening, a reset. Amen.
There are going to be a lot of things that are going to involve a lot of need for the availability of the black holes. However, if you look at it, the functionality of black holes is going to be very, very important in this season that we are getting into. Functionality of black holes are going to be very, 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 very important. Mark my words, I say they're going to be very, 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 very important.
NASA scientists have been left puzzled by the data sent back by the Hubble telescope, which shows that something weird is happening to the universe. For the past 30 years, astronomers have used the Hubble Space Telescope to study the edges of the universe. Now, as the scientists analyze the data collected by the telescope, they come to the startling conclusion that something weird is going on with the universe. The telescope, which was launched in 1990, has helped astronomers identify 40 milepost markers for space and time to measure the rate of the expansion of the universe. But now, NASA has observed a discrepancy between its current rate when compared to observations from after the Big Bang, which took place around 14 billion years ago. The organization said in a statement, "Pursuit of the universe's expansion rate began in the 1920s with measurements by astronomers Edwin P. Hubble and Georges Lemaitre. In 1998, this led to the discovery of dark energy, a mysterious repulsive force accelerating the universe's expansion. In recent years, thanks to data from Hubble and other telescopes, astronomers found another twist, a discrepancy between the expansion rate as measured in the local universe compared to independent observations from right after the Big Bang, which predict a different expansion value. The cause of this discrepancy remains a mystery. But Hubble data, encompassing a variety of cosmic objects that serve as distance markers, support the idea that something weird is going on, possibly involving brand new physics. Using these updated and more accurate data, the astronomers found that the universe was expanding much faster than they originally thought. NASA scientists earlier predicted that the universe should expand at a rate of about 67.5 kilometers per second per megaparsec, give or take 0.5, but observations show it is around 73.
"2022 is the year of wonders without number."
We have 2 X-Flare players on the Earth-facing disc two filaments that are poised to erupt, and an Earth-directed stealthy solar storm. Those stories and more in the news this week. M-flare threat meter, you can see as we take a look at the X-ray flux back on the 30th, you can see things rising quite quickly and pop, pop, pop. Look at all these big flares. This was all due to region 2994, which became relabeled 3006. And you can see that big X flare there. That region continued to fire easily over that day before things began to calm down just a little bit. And it definitely caused some radio blackouts. Luckily, we got a little bit of a reprieve into the second, but then region 3004 started really growing rapidly, and you can see once again back by the third, pop, pop, pop. Once again, we're getting these big flares, including an X flare. This is from region 3004. This is also about the time when that stealthy solar storm was launched toward Earth that is still making its way towards Earth and should hit us around the 9th. Stealthy solar storm was launched toward Earth that is still making its way towards Earth and should hit us around the 9th. Stealthy solar storm was launched toward Earth that is still making its way towards Earth and should hit us around the 9th.
To another working of miracles, to another prophecy, to another descending of spirits, to another diverse kinds of tongues, to another interpretation of tongues. But the beginning of it starts stating that to another the working of miracles. Today we're going to be doing the working of miracles that is going to change the atmosphere and the environment at which you are found, called Earth. I hold your sun today. I hold your stars today. For the people of Earth stand in fear. Their kings, their queens, their castles, their bishops are in fear of the flare. But time made them to be imprisoned by fear. I establish a new magnetic field for the sake of these people. This is your sun. I hope you can see it. I'm creating a new path for the solar flares.
And we've had winds fluctuate from about 300 kilometers a second to about 350 kilometers a second, and then back down. Temperatures have remained normal. Again, the two impacts on the 9th have been removed. The two impacts on the 9th have been removed. It's a Christmas miracle, folks.
I am about to speak the existence or a creative ability that will make the existence of new black holes which were not discovered before. These are new kinds of black holes. As I'm talking to you right now, this cup that I'm holding, as I'm speaking to it, Lahus Eranyak, Lahus Eranai, Lahus Eranyak, Lahus Elian, Gimelai Eliak, Lahus Emiel. There's a creation in the atmosphere that is taking place. New black holes are being formed. The secret is not in this pie cup. No, it's just a cup. It's just metal. But the secret is in the instruction of the Lord. Speak into this cup, and black holes shall be formed and created. the creative power has begun to establish new black holes.
Risk of NGC 247. Bright red areas indicate regions of dense gas and dust and robust star formation near the edge of the galaxy. The mysterious hole in Caldwell 62 is located on the other side of the galaxy. The mysterious hole in Caldwell 62 is located on the other side of the galaxy. This part of the galaxy has a shortage of gas, which means it has little material from which to form new stars. As star formation has ceased in this region, the void is filled with old, faint stars.
There's a crisis in the study of the cosmos. Scientists say that we're wrong about the Big Bang and the universe. This rude jolt to the astronomy community has already been dubbed the crisis in cosmology. But now, the crisis has become a thunderbolt, shocking even more scientists, as new models and calculations are punching big holes in the Big Bang theory that was thought to be gospel for decades. The contradictions are so profound, it's time to sound the alarm, because essential predictions of the Big Bang theory are increasingly contradicted by better data. As shown by many teams of researchers, data from new observations are consistent with a non-expanding universe. That means there was no Big Bang. That's correct. The real crisis in cosmology indicates that the Big Bang never happened. There's a lot to unravel. You're about to discover all the key pointers disproving the Big Bang. You might want to sit down for this. You're about to be stunned and immobile. Here's what scientists got wrong for decades about the beginning of our universe. Subir Sarkar, a professor at the University of Oxford, told the New Scientist publication that he's discovered evidence suggesting that our current understanding of cosmology is broken. In support of this crisis to cosmology are several other scientists who are all saying that we need to completely revamp our entire understanding of the universe. Not everyone, though, is on board. Sarkar was quoted saying, "We are in a very unenviable position in that most of our colleagues don't even want to hear about it. But you should be kept up to speed. Here are the catastrophic facts that devastate the study of cosmology as we know today. When it comes to light elements, predictions foresaw that any super-hot explosion throughout the universe, especially like the Big Bang, would definitely generate a certain small amount of the light element lithium and a large amount of helium. Yet, actual observations show that the older the stars, the amount of lithium observed has gotten less and less. As a matter of fact, the oldest stars radiate less than 1/10 of the predicted level. The problem is, the Big Bang theory unequivocally predicts certain amounts of light elements like lithium, helium, and deuterium. They must be produced in the explosion that is hypothesized to have started the universe. For lithium, the prediction is 400 lithium atoms for every trillion hydrogen atoms. To the bewilderment of astronomers, measurements of lithium in old stars in our galaxy don't add up. Thus, the Big Bang predictions don't align with reality. They know the stars were formed very early in the history of our galaxy because they have very tiny amounts of iron and other heavy elements that are produced by previously existing stars. But in most of these stars, the lithium abundance is only 160 lithium atoms per trillion atoms, which is vastly far below the Big Bang predictions. Peer-reviewed studies indicate that both lithium and helium observations of abundances in old stars differ from predictions by more than a dozen standard deviations. And as scientists delved deeper into experimentation and evaluation, the gap has been widening at an accelerating pace. The oldest stars have less than half the helium and less than 1/10 the lithium than predicted by Big Bang nucleosynthesis theory. The lowest lithium levels observed are less than 1% than predicted by the theory. Therefore, the evidence is consistent with no helium or lithium having been formed before the first stars in our galaxy. Equally important, the study shows that the right amounts of these light elements have been predicted by an alternative explanation, which hypothesizes that these elements were produced by stars in the earliest stages of the evolution of galaxies. This alternative explanation, led by research from astronomer Eric Lerner, known as the galactic origin of light elements, or GOAL hypothesis, shows that expectations from the first generation of stars to form in a galaxy are intermediate mass stars that are from 4 to 12 times as massive as the Sun. These stars burn hydrogen to helium in tens to a couple of 100 million years, much faster than our Sun's burn rate of 10 billion years. The helium then disperses in powerful stellar winds during the late stages of these stars' lifetimes. Cosmic rays from these early stars, colliding at high energy with other nuclei, produced deuterium and lithium, meaning the Big Bang Theory predictions are certainly not conforming to cosmic predictions. It's been universally understood that since the intense radiation of the Big Bang would produce matter and antimatter in equal amounts, a mutual annulation of particle-antiparticle pairs would reduce the surviving matter density to around 10 to the negative 17th protons to centimeters cubed. The observation showed that the matter density in the universe is observed to be at least 10 to the negative 7th ions per centimeters cubed. That is more than 10 billion times higher than the Big Bang prediction. So, to align with the Big Bang prediction and fill in the unknown gap, Big Bang theorists propose there's some unknown asymmetry between matter and antimatter that would lead to more production of matter. Unfortunately, it's all speculation, as this has never been observed in laboratory experiments. Large-scale experiments have contradicted this prediction as well, with no evidence of decay at all. One might just as well call it God. According to the original predictions of the expanding universe theory of the Big Bang, an optical illusion makes objects at high redshift appear larger and dimmer, so their surface brightness, the ratio of apparent brightness to apparent area, declines sharply with redshift. The history of the subject began with the development in the 19th century of wave mechanics and the exploration of phenomena associated with the Doppler effect. The effect is named after Christian Doppler, who offered the first known physical explanation of the phenomenon in 1842. However, true real-life observations show that based on observations of thousands of galaxies, surface brightness is completely constant with distance, as expected in a universe that is not expanding. So, Big Bang advocates attempted to adjust the prediction after observation showed that the surface brightness dimming did not occur. They went on to hypothesize that galaxies were much smaller in the distant past and have grown greatly. Unfortunately, observations have contradicted this solution as well. Truth be told, there have not been enough galaxy mergers for the growth rates needed. In addition, the ultra-small galaxies hypothesized would have to have more mass in stars than total mass. This is an obvious impossibility that can't be taken lightly, pun intended. According to the original predictions guided by the Big Bang theory, the universe is supposed to start off completely smooth and homogeneous. Structure starts small and grows over time. Yet due to observations via space observatory telescopes like the Hubble that have peered farther into space and discovered huger and huger structures of galaxies, tangible details show that these massive galaxies are too large to have been formed in the time since the Big Bang. And it's not only for galaxies. The newly discovered black hole in the middle of the Milky Way galaxy also disproves the Big Bang theory. It is a supermassive black hole, or SMBH, that is way too large to have been created from dying stars. The time of its origins and its location just don't justify the predictions of the Big Bang theory. On top of that, the idea that the cosmos looks largely the same no matter where you go, which is called the cosmological principle, has been around in some form or another since the 1500s. Now, scientists like Sarkar advocate that the way our Milky Way moves through the universe could be interfering with our understanding of the rest, similarly to how our ancestors first thought the sun was rotating around the Earth. According to Sarkar, our relatively small number of known galaxies and the inability to know exactly how far apart they are leaves ample room to doubt and speculation. A concrete example is watching a single animal slow down in a large herd. It looks like all the others are running away from it at a fast pace. In the same perspective, it's possible that from Earth it only seems as though the universe is expanding at a given rate. And don't think that Sarkar is the first cosmologist to suggest that the current Big Bang models are inaccurate. Just 2 years ago, the New Scientist published several white papers showing that the expanding universe theory moves too fast to be compatible with accepted models of physics. And the following year, just in 2021, Alexia Lopez of the University of Central Lancashire discovered a giant line of galaxies that broke all sorts of rules regarding the Big Bang theory. The Big Bang predictions of CMB showed a smooth relic of initial radiation, but the observations show that only large scales demonstrate the predicted CMB levels. Overall, the Big Bang models don't allocate enough time for many regions to reach the equilibrium to receive the energy needed for measurements of CMB seen today. As a matter of fact, the most suitable solutions imply a curved universe, rather than the predictions of expansion for a flat universe. And with that, the predictions of density of dark matter are far greater than any measurements derived from the motion of galaxies. So, dark matter is necessary in the Big Bang theory, yet dark matter can't be quantified or even verified in the Big Bang theory. The Big Bang theory requires the existence of dark matter, but unfortunately, dark matter has been this mysterious particle that has actually never been observed in a laboratory. despite the billions of dollars in extremely sensitive experimentation on Earth, the abundant observations of the motions of galaxies, and the massive mixture of dark matter in our sci-fi lexicon, dark matter particles have never actually been detected. In response, a growing number of cosmologists agree that the Big Bang Theory calculations have been fundamentally misguided or even falsified.
2022 is the year of wonders without number.